have to train the new trainers or the new faculty members, and that is what my job is. I don't need to look after the day-to-day operations in the office. So that is how we complement each other in our organization.
I think that's obviously an interesting lesson, because if you have a partner and if both of you bring something different to the table, then obviously in terms of where can you do your business or how can you take it forward, I think it takes in a completely different level altogether. I also want to ensure that we have somewhat of time, so I will cut short some of the questions. But I think a couple of interesting questions that I'd really like to ask you at this stage right now. What would you say could be the three key aspects that have contributed to your success till now? What?
Luckily for me, Sakal gave me a platform, and Pune is again one place where we are very near to Mumbai. So the Mumbai wind comes first to Pune. So Mumbai is a vara म्हणतात तसं. So what happens is Pune was a kind of ledger attitude who used to read newspapers, and therefore my articles were read by people, and therefore I got that publicity.
In Bombay they wouldn't have read it.
Bombay they wouldn't have read it. Number one, Bombay would have not accepted a Maharashtrian in the second place. Pune accepts a Maharashtrian, and Bombay there are a lot of Gujaratis who would dominate a Maharashtrian. They will not want a Maharashtrian to come up, and these are some aspects that I look at where I feel lucky to be a Pune. Sakal promoted me a lot. Promoted me in the sense they gave me a platform to start writing articles. At the same time, because my articles were being published in Sakal, the TV channels approached me. That is where I got more publicity, and that's the reason why we could move all over India.
Yeah, I think what you're really enumerating are the advantages of being a Puneri brand.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are something that we sometimes miss out, right? There could be inherent benefits and advantages of being located in Pune, many of which sometimes we gloss over, and we're looking at many other elements that might come in. I think it's a simple matter of how do you take advantage of what is available to you. I think it's just that. Kiran, I think one of the key things that people really look for when they come to these sessions, right, are what is the message that you like to give, right, to the people in the audience, to the aspiring entrepreneurs, to the people who are already successful in their own fields. What is the message that you would like to give so that they could follow and learn something from your success?
Yeah. Message basically would be you have to be consistent in whatever you do. You have to be hardworking. You have to be very, very honest. You have to be transparent. All these ethics that we have in our company are transparent. We are absolutely down to earth. Means, for example, even today, although I'm a portfolio manager by profession, I give full time to my clients. Means even today, a student of mine has the liberty to call me during market hours, and if he has any queries, I'll solve it there and there itself. So this transparency, this connectivity helps in spreading our name. And when you do that, what basically happens is word of mouth spreads, and that is how your business also spreads. So that is one important thing. You have to live to your dreams. You have to dream first and then live up to your dream. That is one important point. Another point is, which I believe is something that people should really understand. People understand this for sure. Every person has some strength and some weaknesses. It is said in all these MBA, now although I am a BCom student, I go and teach the MBA people. So I am a faculty member, visiting faculty to most of the MBA colleges in and around Pune. So the point that I was making is, you have got strength, you have got weaknesses. So in the MBA sessions, people say, or people really work on, they say that you have to work on your weaknesses because you already have your strengths. So you work on your weaknesses so that these weaknesses become your strength, and then you can grow. I say that is wrong. You hire weaknesses. Someone else, your weakness can be hired by someone. You pay him and get that work done. You work on your strengths to become even more stronger. that is how you can grow even faster, because you are spending a good lot of time in your weaknesses where your strength will become a weakness over a period of time. And the best example is Sachin Tendulkar. He never said, I am going to come and bowl from tomorrow. He said, I am going to bat today, tomorrow and forever. He never came and bowled. He never wished to be a best bowler. So, this is one example, and that is exactly what you should have. So, I never thought of being a software. Now I need to understand, I have a software, so I should understand the making of the software. No. There are people who are looking at and I pay them. And that is how things work faster and you grow faster, because your competition can kill you if you are very slow. So these are some messages that I would like to pass on.
Yeah. There's one more aspect which, when I talked to Kiran, I think I was really envious about the fact. I think what I was envious about the fact is that he has a full-fledged business running right now. He has so many clients, right? He has so many activities. But if you ask him during the day if he has time for you, and he definitely has time for his customers, for his trainers, I think that's an amazing achievement. I mean, we all talk about work-life balance. We all talk about, drawing the boundary somewhere. We all talk about, being able to achieve success at the same time, do other things. So I think that's the last question from me. How do you manage this, and what are the other interests that you are able to indulge in?
To start with, basically, as I told you in the beginning, technical analysis is very simple. If you master the art, which will not take more than 2 days to first understand it, master will take another 6 months because you have to practice. And once you master this art, the time that you need to spend for investing, I am talking about, not trading, for investing is not more than 15 minutes a day. Out of 24 hours, you need to invest only 15 minutes. That too, after 6 o'clock in the evening and before 9 o'clock in the morning. That is all. The rest is your time. I don't have any work, and that's the reason why, I have time for my students. So these people can come and talk to me, and that is what I enjoy. Different people have different problems regarding investments, so we can discuss. They have a solution on it. They go ahead with that. Along with that, the first and foremost is you should be physically fit. So exercise is something that is very important, and when we were chatting outside, I also told you that I always have an emphasis on my trainers or my faculty members that they should exercise at least half an hour a day, minimum. And they should. If they don't, then they are not with me. Means I might sack them. That's the kind of message that I keep passing on. Because if you are physically fit, then it makes sense, because the trainer has to stand for almost 18 hours, 2 consecutive days, 9 hours each. He has to speak for 9 hours. He should have that strength to do that. If he does not have that strength, then all the efforts that I have taken for the last 18 years in my life, and which I have been passing on through these trainers, will not be the same which I was doing. So the same message will not be passed on. So physical exercise is one. Second is technical exercise is simple. So you get a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm sure if Kiran knew how to be conducting the session today, he might have refused, because I don't fit his bill in terms of physical fitness or something. Okay, so I think this would be the right time for questions from you. So I think I'd like to throw the floor open for questions. So,
Karan, I just wanted to ask,
Take the mic.
investing is basically a lot to do with the psychology also. Is like how do you maintain the mental strength? Even if whenever you make a big gain, okay, so that you are not overconfident, and you make a big loss also, at that time you are not distressed, so that you don't. So how do you make a balance of this? This is basically a question which is there for any normal investor, right? So how to cope up with these situations?
See, the art of technical analysis itself is the point of entry and the point of exit. So when you look at the charts, you know that the amount that I'm going to invest in the particular counter is